Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday, September the 21st. Good morning to all you people in Memphis. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30 on AM 790, 92.9 HD-FM. And good Saturday morning to you folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM from 6 to 7:30. And, of course, News Talk 101.5 in Jackson from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And me and Shelby are here. Shelby McCall, the show producer, is here. And we have a special guest in studio all the way from Lickskillet, Kentucky, by way of everywhere, I think, it seems like. But when I say Lickskillet, you folks out there know that I'm going to talk to the gray-bearded adventurer himself. He's in studio with us on this Saturday morning. Good morning, Dale Sanders.
Hey, good morning to you.
All right, there's that voice.
It's too early. That's the first thing I've said this morning, I think.
You're doing
Sounds
good.
like it anyway.
No, but you're wound up. You'll get it. You know how to do it. But Dale is... Dale, as you know, I mean, he's got so much what he's done. Perseverance is one of his favorite words. And, of course, if many of you remember the exploits of the gray-bearded adventurer right from out here in Bartlett, Tennessee. But, I mean, he started in the Navy, right, Dave? Right, Dale? Navy?
Yes, sir.
In the Navy. And then, of course, he did a lot of – then he did conservation, the Wolf River Conservation Conservancy, and all the many things he's done. But we kind of captured friendship back several years ago when at the age of 80, I think it was 2015, Dale decided that he wanted to paddle Old Man River, the Mississippi River, from source to sea, and became the oldest person to do that, and that was in 2015. Dale, that just doesn't seem possible 9 years ago. But coming up on it, we've passed it, in fact, because he wanted to do it on his birthday when he was 87, right, Dale?
Yes, sir.
87, and what has happened to Dale since then? Google Dale Sanders. Google the gray-bearded adventurer. Go to YouTube. Go to anything. And this man is, he's been there, he's done that, but he is not ready to hang up his paddles or hiking shoes or anything else that he's got. And he's got some other exploits as we talk about that. And so we're going to be talking to Dale for the first two segments of today's show. And then we'll let Dale get out of here and do some errands. But so before we get in with Dale here, because there's a lot to talk with Dale, we could fill out a whole what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio program. And Dale Sanders has filled up a lot of that slot over these past 9 years. But we're going to talk to Jake Hanson. He is our man at Gaston's White River Resort on the White River. And Jake's going to give us an update on how fishing is up there. All of us had a little rain, changes in temperatures and things like fall at Gaston's is unbelievable. When the colors start changing, that's one of my favorite places to be. And so we'll talk to Jake. We hope, as Shelby will say, we can hook up with our man, Frank Barton. And you're wondering, well, this is third Saturday, so why isn't Frank, why isn't Jordan Gordon in the studio doing when we have the great Dale Sanders over there? Well, you know, oh my. Frank is right outside of Paducah, Kentucky for the Master Nationals National Championship. And I think there's over 1,200 dogs up there. It's the closest it's ever been for us to be in our area, so to speak. And it starts today, really. Well, it really starts Monday, but everything's checking in, all sorts of things. Of course, you know, Dale, that Frank is heavily into retriever dogs. In fact, he is back doing reporting for them and things along that line. So Frank is up in Paducah, and he's going to report to us later in the show. And then we'll get our Mid-South fishing report from our one and only David Beal of S.Y. Wilson and Primary Tackle, talking Mid-South fishing. And then we got an unbelievable guest to start us. We got an unbelievable guest to finish it with us. Great guest in between, but we're going to cap today's show after starting with Dale Sanders with our good friend Joella Bates, multi-archery champion. How about 13? How about 13 championships worldwide? How about being one of the few women in the world to ever kill all 5 of the African big game animals with a bow? Now you think about that for a while. And she's getting ready to head back to Europe again as she takes part in another championship. She's raising money. The woman also makes unbelievable quilts. She makes that. But she's got 13 world championships, 5 3D archery world championships. But she is heading out. She's been to Italy. She's been to France. She's been to Canada. And this year she's going back to Europe. And we'll let her tell all about it because one thing she does do, she is with a longbow, and she shoots wooden arrows. That's right. No, that's going to be at the end of the show today. Not the end of the show, I hope, but Joella Bates. But we're really happy to have the man sitting across from me over there, and he looks good, feels good. I don't know how his wheels are going over there. I don't know how his body is going over there, but he's getting ready to do something here real soon. And you got something coming up for you, Dale. What's next on your agenda?
Well, first, can I say that that 37 years with the U.S. Navy was probably the best of my life. I owe a lot to the Navy. Thank you, and thank you so much for mentioning that.
Well, we owe a lot to all of our people in the armed forces. Yes.
And what's coming up next?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! Well, just that next. I mean, right soon now, like
next week.
Like Friday. Friday.
Next week.
Well, Friday coming up. Actually, it's Friday. I wouldn't even say next week because it's coming up real soon.
And what is it?
I'll be driving to Lake Geneva in south east Wisconsin. Not Switzerland.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're going to cheese country, though.
And participate as a diver in the competition, the United States National Spearfishing Championships. Woo! I'll be in the Masters division. Can you believe that? And I've been training.
You have been training.
I have been training, and I'm telling you, I didn't realize how much out of shape I was until I got in that swimming pool with a snorkel.
Yeah. So tell us what the competition is going to be like.
Well, it's a 5-hour meet.
5 hours.
Starts on Friday, and the next day, by the way, on Saturday is the World Junior Championships.
Okay.
In the same lake, but we'll be out there in the lake for 5 hours spearing fish, and we got 2 species we can really count. Rock bass and carp.
Okay.
All the other species are illegal. Some are illegal are legal to spear, but the only ones legal in a tournament are those 2 species. And we'll limit it to 20 in the rockfish and 10 in the carp. And then they weigh the heaviest ones. So you have to bring all the fish you shoot in. You can't leave any fish in the lake. And then whoever has the most points when it's all said and done is
the champion.
Crowned as a champ.
Now you've done some spearfishing in your lifetime. Whatever you've done, what haven't you done?
Oh, that's why.
Well, you were in the Navy. Yeah. I mean, that's really where you got your start, wasn't it? I mean,
Well, if it hadn't been for the spearfishing competitions I was doing in the 20s, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I would not have been invited to this tournament.
Well, you're in the Masters division. Now, what does that mean, age-wise?
Age-wise, that's the older guys.
So tell our listeners how old you are.
Well, I am 89 years old today. But today is not my birthday. No, but I'm already 89.
You're 89 now, and of course, he's a legend for all of us, and in the inspiration, he makes me have makes me have perspiration just to think of what he's done. You know.
Well, Larry,
what?
I will get another age record out of this, even if I don't bring a.
You will be, because I'm sure
if I don't bring a fish in, I'll still be the oldest person
to do this.
to ever compete at a national level in a spearfishing competition, and I'm not going to come in with no fish.
No. Now you're not going to get shut out, are you?
No, I'm not going to get.
So
shut
you've
out.
been training in the pool.
Yeah.
All right, you've got your spear, your equipment. So, what kind of equipment are we using here?
Well, I haven't been able to use my spears in the pool because Barton shies on that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay.
But I'm ready with my fins. I'm ready with my snorkel. And I'm ready with my mask.
All right.
And I've got my board rigged, and I'll have my spear guns on that, and I'm ready for the meet.
Now, one time you did hold the world record for the being able to hold your breath the longest underwater, if I remember.
Well, that's what we claimed, and we never got a challenge on it. So I still say that was a world record.
What was it?
6 minutes and 4 seconds at the bottom of the swimming pool holding a dumbbell.
Holding out the dumbbell.
And that dumbbell must have been me.
No, it wasn't. It was the thing that launched, as we might say, for Dale Sanders. So when we take this first break, we're going to come back with Dale. The whole segment going to be about the gray-beard adventurer and the man, because he's got something else up his sleeve, if you can believe that. The man, and we got to say a big thank you to all your fans. My goodness, Dale, you have fans. And your wife, Miriam, which is my wife's name, too. Me and Dale kind of hit that off. Dale formerly went to my church.
Yeah, we went to
back
church
in the
together
old
for
days.
years.
He's got lots of friends at my church. But we're going to come back and we're going to talk on this next segment about not only what he's going to be doing this spearfishing, but he has bigger things to chew over the next time frame. So let's take our first break of the morning, and it's going to breeze through with Dale Sanders in the studio. And we'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I don't know how many times I've said that over these 24 years as we head toward our 25th anniversary in 2025. But once again, we've got one of our all-time favorite guests in the studio. We're also just about going solo here with this, I call him a young man. He's young at heart. I think he's doing that. But that is the gray-bearded adventurer himself, Dale Sanders, who has been a part of Outdoors with Larry Ray for 9 years, I know, at least. We talked about when he first did that Source to Sea, paddling down the Mississippi River, 87 days at the age of 87. And celebrating his birthday, or 81, what was it, 81, what was it?
First time was 80 years old.
Yeah, 80 years old, and that was on his birthday. I know his birthday's in June, right, Dale? I mean,
yep.
Always 6, is it 6? What is your birthday?
Flag Day.
Oh, Flag Day, okay. Well, there's his voice. You recognize his voice, and you've watched him on video. You've watched his amazing documentary that did The Man, the Myth, and the Mississippi, and that's Dale Sanders over there. He's won so many awards, and he's represented our Mid-South as one of our, I think, one of those people that everybody looks up to and what he does. But we talked about him and the spearfishing and things along that line. But I was telling Dale off the air that we're in the Odyssey family of radio stations out here, and congratulations to Ron Olson and Karen Perrin for winning again. In the Best of Memphis radio personality. Ron, you're the best, buddy. But we're at Odyssey, and we used to be at 1960 Union Avenue back in the old days down at Channel 5 when we started this thing on a whim, and we said, well, maybe we'll make it for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe, but not 24 years. And then I think about guests like we've had in Dale, and Dale, I know this. I think I ask you this about every time, but why do you do what you do? Because I get people saying, "Ask Dale, why does he do what he's doing? How does he get up for these kind of things?" So kind of give us a synopsis, Dale, of yourself. I mean, if that's possible.
Well, of course, I've been asked that question so many times. I've probably given 100 different.
Well, give us another one. Yeah, give us another one. Give us another one.
Actually, I believe that I really strongly believe that I'm doing all these age record breaking and setting things after turning 80 because I was bullied in middle school.
Yeah,
and
been there, Dale.
That shaped my life.
We're about the same size wise. I know that. Yeah. We were bullied before bullying was problem.
Well, they didn't do anything about it.
No.
The principal just laughed.
That's right. Yeah.
It wasn't until I got pretty good at acrobats.
Yeah.
That the people started respecting me, and they stopped and started, watching me do the acrobats, and I feel that my whole life has been very competitive for me, and I feel that I took that fact that the bullying stopped when I did something of quality.
Yeah.
And I think deep in my heart, I think that's
right.
That's why I'm still trying to do physical things of quality,
and
not mental. I was never sharp enough to do mental things.
Well,
but
I may disagree with you on that, but I know that from the physical side, Dale. We know you've got something else planned, and this is what I want to read this because this is from Dale's heart that I read on his website, and you just Google Graybeard Adventurer, and you'll go to Dale's website. He says, quote, listen to this, Dale. Both my doctors have supported my age-related record-breaking paddles and hiking adventures. The future looks bright. God willing, and the creeks don't rise, I will hike the Appalachian Trail again, setting yet another age record at 90 years old.
Yep.
And I'm glad you recognize your doctors first, Dale.
Well, they are.
What
really
do we do
important.
without our doctor?
When you get old, your doctor becomes really important.
So talk about this, because that's next year, right? I mean,
that's next September. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk about why you wanted to do this again. You've hiked that trail now. You were the oldest, and then
I did an age record at 82.
At 82,
for hiking, doing a through hike of the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, and now to do it at 90, this was something. When we last had you on the show, you were thinking of things to do. You're always thinking of things to do. So do you prepare differently now for this time compared to what you've done in the past? And
well, I'm not in full-fledged training yet for the Appalachian Trail, but in my preparation for this upcoming national spearfishing competition, I have found that I have to go much slower in everything to get in condition, physical condition, than I used to be able to. I used to could speed right through and get in condition. Now it takes me a lot longer.
I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know. It might have something to do with age.
I think it might be because you're what are you 5'8"? What are you
5'6"?
5'6" and 150 and 150 pounds. Now, when I did my cancer checkup the other day, thank you, Dr. Bill Walsh. Okay, for keeping me going here. Every 3 months, Dale, I'm still having my cancer checks, and the doctor has told me now I weighed 150.4 pounds.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'8". So I've weighed this same. I got real low with my cancer, but I've committed myself to trying to eat better, do better, because people will look at you and they want to see your driver's license. Dale, I know you saved a lot of money on your haircuts, but I know that you don't look 89 right now, Dale. Come on now, all right?
Well, because of my long hair, or because of my beard, or
oh, really? You think that's maybe what it is over there? All that money's going.
I got both of them.
You does have both of them, and we're going to post a picture of me and Dale on our website that we've done over the years because he's come up with his own dance. He's got his victory dance and all these different kind of things. But this has got to be and you love challenges, buddy. So tell my listeners out there that may say, well, I'm 85 or I'm 83, I'm 80 this like this, and I can't do nothing. It's a mind game, right, Dale? I mean, it is, because if you think you can't do nothing, you won't do nothing. I mean,
you know what? That's how true that is.
Yeah, that may not be proper English, but that's just what it is, you know. And I think that you are one of those guys. as a river angel, whatever it keep the people at his house and everything like that. But the mind game that you have to play, Dale, it's got to be different from when it was at 80. So this is 10 years later after paddling the Mississippi, you're doing this. So the challenges have got to be double what you were the last time you did this. Right?
Yes. You mentioned River Angel.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know it, but I have the official Paddlers Wall of Fame. And we challenged that just like we did the breath holding thing, and nobody else could come up with the fact that there is already one in existence. And in fact, even to this day, and I've been doing it for 13 years, there's still no other Paddlers Wall of Fame. So I'm saying I have it, and it's in my house, and I've had over 500 paddlers sign that thing.
Are you serious? You've had over 5. You understand what he's talking about, folks. These are people who have floated down the Mississippi River and have stopped over at Dale's house.
Oh, yeah, and most of them. Some of them just came out just to sign the wall.
Well, yeah, but these are people. So the river has constantly got people going up and down it.
Constantly, yes.
It's times of the year. I'm saying not, December and January maybe. I don't know. But September, October, all these good people are coming by, and they're signing his Wall of Fame. Now, the Appalachian Trail is a whole different thing, though, Dale. I mean, you got different segments. You got where you start. I don't know if you're starting in Springer in Georgia.
I'm starting in Springer, and I'm hoping to on 14 September, and I'm hoping to finish at Katahdin by 13 September the following year.
Wow. That's so you're talking about from Georgia, North Georgia to Maine. Now, you've already done you've been the Florida deal too, hadn't you?
Yeah, I've done. Actually, as it sits right today, I've already hiked from Key West, Florida, to North Central Maine. Every stitch of it.
Every stitch.
I mean, I haven't missed a footprint. So just
does it blow your mind, Dale, that people now recognize what you do? Because you are a spokesperson for the. You're the ancient mariner, okay? I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying that, but you make me feel younger. You're the only person I get in the room with me here that makes me feel younger, okay?
Well, it hasn't brought any money to me yet, but
no,
it has brought fame and brought me closer to God, though.
It has, hasn't it, though, because protection is part of that. You've been through some challenging weather, all sorts of weather on the river, on the trail, and things along that line, and yet I think you maybe have mentioned that a while ago. That time in the Navy was so instrumental in your life, and then what you have done for us with the Wolf Rivers Conservancy. As far as that, you've been on the Wolf River probably more than anybody I know. I've been part of that. But goals is what you need, right?
Yes, sir.
And a goal is a goal for you. So you write it down.
Well, first of all, I don't set a goal unless I have it. It's in my heart.
You go.
I know I have a chance of doing it, and I know my heart's in the right place. My recommendation is to anyone that wants to do long distance and challenging adventures.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it unless you're willing to put it.
That's true.
In your heart as a true desire that you want. You just burning desire you have to do.
Well, tell our listeners out there before we let you go, Dale Sanders, where they can get more information and follow you and all these different kind of things, because you're everywhere out there. And tell them.
You want me to tell them?
Yeah, tell them where they can go information to keep up with your exploit.
Well, you can just Google Graybeard Sanders, but I do have a website, and it's the graybeardadventure.com. And then also, if you want to look at some real good stuff, go to graybeardthedocumentary.com.
Yes.
And then on Facebook, I am just Graybeard Sanders.
Well, he's not just. There ain't no just about this man. He is the Graybeard Adventurer. And Dale Sanders, thanks for your friendship, buddy. It's always great to have you in studio here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And I hope we've had a little part.
You've played a major role,
man, in spreading the word about. And he's not out this for publicity about himself. I think he's out there. He was raising money for the what was your
the juvenile diabetes?
Yes,
first time I was at the river.
Yes, we're doing
the
that.
next time I was just trying to get enough money to finish it so I get my record back.
That's right, get his record back. All right, Dale, thank you, buddy. We love you, buddy, and appreciate you being with us. And we'll talk after the spear fishing and find out what happened to you up there. Just don't make sure you come home, okay? All right.
Alive.
Yeah, that's not in the box, Dale. Okay? All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we head into our 24th year on the air. And I'm pretty sure this next place where we're going to be talking about has probably been on this show as many times as anybody else has all these many, many years. And I owe that a lot to my friendship with the late Jim Gaston. And seemed like we just hit it off. He wanted to talk politics, and I listened back in those days. And then right after Jim, when he passed away, and now his grandson Clint is running the show, and Ron Brannaman was through there. We got a new name we're going to be keeping up once a month, because we're going to hook back up with one of it's one of my favorite places to visit. That's Gaston's White River Resort. And folks, if you want to pick a good time and you want to get to Gaston's in the fall, you better do it in a hurry, because when the fall colors come in central Arkansas, everybody heads to Gaston's. They either fly in, drive in, or just hitchhike in. I don't know, but that's where I would be, and we're glad to have with us once a month Jake Hanson from Gaston's. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing great, and I got to ask you again, because somebody asked me. Your background, Jake. Where are you from? I can't remember. You told me, but what's your background?
I'm from this area. I'm from Mountain Home, Arkansas. I went to school with Clint Gaston, and he brought me on board a few years ago, and we're just moving strong with it.
You were a bomber? Were you a bomber?
I was.
All right.
Absolutely.
I know the bombers. I know from Mountain Home Bombers. I always loved their name. I don't know. I was always in the nickname given things with, of course, I'm from God's country, North Little Rock, and all my relatives have been going up to Gaston's. And I'm thinking, when they opened that dam up there, y'all are about, how old is that resort now? You got any ideas? What is it?
Oh, man, quick math. We're from 1958, so we're somewhere 65 years.
There you go, 1958. I was a teenager, okay? I was a teenager. I was going to Rockaway Beach before there was a Branson, and you would stop at Gaston's right there in Lakeview, Arkansas, the metropolis of of Lakeview and bull shows and all that area. And, of course, the resort itself has become, even the flying, Jake, you have heavy traffic flying, particularly in the fall, don't you?
Oh, yeah, especially with nice weather, especially like we've been having. People are flying in to start seeing these leaves start changing, and they're tired of the heat, so they're glad to be at this part of the year. And
it's not a bad place to eat there either, Jake. Now, we got to throw that in there too, okay?
Absolutely. Chef Rick does a phenomenal job.
Doesn't he do that, folks? And we hadn't even talked fishing yet. You're probably saying, well, Larry, talk fishing. But I'm telling you, there's so many things to do there. And the resort is over how many acres? What are we talking about here?
Man, we're right under about 400 acres.
You hear that? You could get up in the morning in one of their 6,000 cabins, it feels like. No, they got a stream of cabins, all sizes, and I'm trying to sell it. I feel like I'm selling for you, Jake. You ought to be telling this.
I'm going to have to hire you.
Yeah, I'm doing too good, I think. But it's that time of the year. But, of course, we come for fishing. And you go to my website, you go to anything that involves with me, and you're going to see a smiling guy holding up a 30-inch brown trout that I caught at Gaston's on a foggy morning several years ago And I don't know if you knew this, Jake, but I took a picture at Gaston's one year, and that's the only picture I've ever won in a contest. And I had a bad back and hurt my back, and next thing I know, I won this award for the entire country of two guys standing in a boat, and you could turn the picture either way, and you wouldn't know which one was right. And I got so many requests. Would I go on a speaking tour about how to take good pictures? I had no idea. I was at the.
Was that when Mr. Jim Gaston got in his interest in photography?
Yes, yeah, we had it. That kind of spurred me on, but I mean, he had a lot more in it than I did. But anyway, always good to have you guys, Jake, and tell Clint and all the gang up there hello for us from Outdoors of Larry Ray. And I hope we've had a little help over the years in pushing some of these Memphis people over your way, because that's what we're in it for, to help you guys out, because Jim always helped to be. Let's talk a little fishing right now. We had a lot of rain here last week, Jake, with hurricane and tropical storm Francine. She was not a nice Francine, I can tell you that for us. I think y'all might have dodged some of the rain, because we got a lot of rain. But tell us what's going on fishing-wise here as we get into late September.
Well, as we get into late September, we're starting to creep into the spawning season of the browns, the brown trout there. So, really fishing anything that's going to resemble an egg or a roe of any sort.
Okay,
going to be pretty successful.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what they're starting to look for, is eggs in the water.
What about generation? What's going on with the
generation? Even though we had some rain come from Francine there, the lakes are still in, I'm gonna call, power pools. So they're only generating on the demand for electricity. So right now they're giving us low flow in the mornings and creeping it up in the afternoons, but nothing too big.
So we can, if you're a fly fisherman, you can have some opportunities early in the morning. Is that?
Yeah, to about lunchtime, it's wadeable, absolutely.
And one thing, folks, and Jake will go along with this. We're talking about browns, big browns, as I was telling you. Don't believe it, go to LarryRay.com. Look at my picture. I'm smiling. Yes, I am. I released that baby back. Okay, it may be 40 inches now. I don't know. But it's the thrill of doing that and catching it on light tackle, whatever it might be. But we do suggest, if you're going up there for the first time, and shame on you if you haven't been there before, but you have some great guides too, don't you, Jake? I mean, guides that you really need to take a guide out before you ever try to tackle that river, right, Jake?
Absolutely. With the falls and rises of the water, just to get a feel for what the water does, you want to be safe and take a guide out there with you. He can give you the tips and tricks of how to put the fish in the boat. And
you've got guides that have lots of experience too, I imagine too, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I got all different styles of guides. I got guides that were here from back in black and white pictures all the way up to some that have been started in the last couple of years.
See there? Yeah.
You guys are still just as good.
Just as good. And this time of the year now, I know come October, you guys start booking up in a hurry. So we need to recommend, and I know you'll say the same thing, is if you're thinking about a getaway, and I know from Memphis you can be over in 5 hours, maybe less. It depends on how you drive. Just be careful going across the state of Arkansas on the 2-lane roads out of Hardy and all through there and across Norfolk and all those areas right there. There's something called troopers around. But at the same time, what makes October so appealing, Jake?
Just a little bit. The fishing's great. The weather's great. The trees are beautiful. They're starting to change to all shades of oranges and reds, and just a great time to be on the water, to be honest with you.
And you got some critters over there too. It's possible to see, if I'm not mistaken. Are the peacocks still there? I mean, are they still living?
We still have peacocks. We still have our peacocks. We have a bird sanctuary there.
Yeah.
We've introduced some on our big pond. We've been throwing some ducks on it and getting those guys to hang in. We got probably some of the biggest mallards you've seen. Boy, if these things were wild, you'd have a heyday.
Yeah, well, that'd probably be my best chance to kill one. You know, I mean, but my aim is not all that good. So anyway, well, tell them, Jake, how to get information and a little bit about where to go and find that information.
Absolutely, guys. I strongly recommend to get on our website and look at our rates, look at our cabin descriptions, and then call us 870-431-5202. And the website's just Gaston's Gastons.com.
That's it. That's GASTONS.com, right? Yeah.
That's it.
And I know you got some drone videos now because Clint's big in that now. And
yeah, absolutely. And there's more content on our Facebook page. So if you look up on Facebook, Gaston's White River Resort, we have all kinds of stuff that gets put up there daily, it seems like.
And watch them big signs on your way up there. If you don't think that, they'll tell you how to get there, folks. I mean,
it's hard to miss us. We have roughly 100 signs.
I wondered how many
50-mile radius.
Yeah, I wondered how many signs you had, but it is the number one resort, and fly in, whatever it might be. All right, Jake Hanson, thank you, buddy. Tell Clint and everybody hello, and I hope to get up there soon, but we'll talk to you next month. Okay, man? All right?
All right, that sounds great. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Jake. All right, Jake.
Bye-bye.
Jake Hanson, and, of course, I've been going to Gaston's, I don't know how long, a long time, and when Jim was alive, and we used to have some writers' conference up there, and we would take a bunch of people, and they still talk about it, but great cabins. All along the river, right there on the White River, and the state park is right down the road. You can see that. We've seen deer, turkey, eagles, all sorts of things on that river. But what I said, go to Gastons.com, and you can go to LarryRay.com. And I will announce also, I forgot to tell you now, the big monster, what was it, the Mississippi River Monsters, I guess, catfish tournament was last Saturday. Great photos by Ron Wong at LarryRay.com. Whoa, man. A couple of them look like they've lifted me up. But anyway, give that chance a check. Let's take our next break. We're going to try to hook up with Frank Barton. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And as you can tell, my voice is starting to fade. And so I'm so glad that I have one of my co-hosts on the line in case I fade away, as Buddy Holly would say. But I do have Frank Barton on the line from Keville, I guess Keville, Kentucky, right out of Paducah. I don't know, Frank, is that close? Kevil?
You got it right. That's exactly where I am.
I am doing good. Where Frank, and you're reporting from the Master Nationals. What's official title for this? I get it mixed up.
This is the 2024 Master National event,
and this is held annually in this time of the year, and for the first time in a long time. It's in our area. I mean, in the Paducah area, not too far from Memphis. And Frank, your title. I mean, you're back to reporting dogs, I think, but you still got to.
I am. I'm back, and I'm the event secretary again for this event.
Okay.
And
which means how many dogs we got then?
1,132.
1,132. I'm writing that down. And so everything really is kicking off today, this Saturday, September the 21st. The first competition will be, I think, Monday, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And then we'll probably go to early October. And give us a feel of what it's like for that course, Frank, and talk about being in Paducah for the first time ever, I guess.
Well, as you know, we go around the country, and this is we're kind of in the central time zone for this year. We were in Thomasville, Georgia last year, so and this is the first time we've ever been to Paducah.
Okay, first time.
Keville.
Uh-huh.
And this is the Western Kentucky Wildlife Management Area, and it's a piece of property about 6,000 acres that primarily field trials, hunt tests.
Okay.
Bird dog events, coon dog events. There's a lot of dog work that goes on out here. But it's the first time the Master National has been here.
And we're talking about competition with 1,132 dogs, Frank. Any poodles? Do we have a poodle there this year?
We have one poodle. You can imagine who it belongs to.
Jack Combs, I'm assuming.
Jack Combs, that is correct.
Okay, Jack Combs is there with his poodle, but primarily we're talking about retrievers, and I'm assuming everybody's trying to win what you would recognize as what if you get through this.
We call it getting a plate.
A plate, okay.
The Master National plate that you get at successfully finishing all the series. We're planning on 5 series this year.
Okay.
And it'll take about 9 days.
That's what I was thinking. How do you get 1,132 dogs into 9 days? I mean,
we churn and burn. I know how to do it. There's not a lot of wasted effort with anything that we do, and we start at as early as the sun allows us to start, and the weather will do it, and we go for as long as we can, as long as it's fair to the dogs.
Wow, and it's fair to the trainers too and handlers.
Right, but by the end of the week, we're all, the dogs are tired, and I guarantee you the handlers are tired, especially some of our professional handlers. We got some professional handlers here that have 25, 28 dogs. 25
to 28 dogs. I've never seen this event. I got to see a little taste of what it's like, but I'm so used to the National Bird Dog Championships where they're just running 2 dogs, in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and we'll have a handler that may have 3 or 4 dogs, but we're talking about some handlers with 20 dogs, and so it's all in a time frame, weather permitting too. I mean that is.
Well, it's weather permitting, but whatever the weather is, we're running. If it's the only thing that will shut us down is if there's lightning.
Okay, all right.
But if it's rain, we're running, dog. We're running.
So and you have 2 dogs, is that right? Or?
I have 2 dogs entered.
Okay.
Goose and Hershey.
Goose and Hershey. Now, as you being part of the team up there, so to speak, do you have time to, with all your other duties, to get Goose and Hershey ready?
It is a challenge for those of us that are in the works of putting this event on to be fair to our dogs.
Sure.
and get a little bit of training. I was able yesterday to slip off for about an hour.
An hour.
Just an hour. Yeah. Just to, as I say, just get them off the truck and take the edge off of them. But they're used to this. I run them every weekend.
Yeah, I know you do.
We're going to some event somewhere, so they're kind of used to the lifestyle.
How's Miss Pacheco doing? I mean,
Annette is doing okay.
Okay, tell her we're thinking about her during this because
I will.
She was a great interview.
And but now would not be a good time. No. She's got her hands full.
Well, how many workers do y'all have to do this, Frank? I mean,
that is a very, very good question. So each flight has got roughly 142 dogs.
And you got 5 flights? Is that what you said?
There are 8. There are
8 flights. Okay.
8 flights.
Okay.
And so there'll probably be 10 or 12 pros into each one of those flights, and probably about the same number of amateurs.
Okay.
We really depend a lot on the amateurs to help volunteer and work. Everybody is expected to do something at the event, whether it's gun at the live gunning station, help throw birds, marshal, which keeps people lined up and running in order. safety. We have a safety committee, and their responsibility is to look after all of us and make certain that nothing. It's hot out here right now. So temperatures and dogs overheating is a concern. And then we have traffic, just managing the traffic for all these vehicles, and that keeping them going in the same direction so that nobody gets stuck and trying to get turned around and come back out the way they're not supposed to come out. So,
and I'm assuming the Bourbon Hills Retriever Club is the host.
That is the host club. It's an interesting club in that there are not too many members are from native to the Paducah area. They're mostly more into central Kentucky.
Really? Okay.
But there are plenty of them out here, and they've been helping us all week getting things set up. So we couldn't do it without the host club.
Yeah, the host club is important. I'm sure that's who. And have we already determined next year, Frank? Did I ask you that? I can't remember.
Next year we'll be in Texas, not too far from Vostrop or Giddings, Texas area.
Okay, all right.
And we do know where that's going to be.
Well, I know we've been to Oregon and and Idaho and all these different kind of places. Again, we're talking to our man Frank Barton, who would normally be here as a co-host with John Gordon, and John is also out of pocket in Texas. But Frank is up in Paducah, Kentucky area at Kevel, Kentucky for the Master Nationals Championship with 1,132 dogs entered, including one poodle. We'll say that again just for Jack. But at the Kentucky Wildlife Management Area in Kevel, and a lot of things go on during this time. Frank, the complications, you guys have meetings, but you really, once you get there, it's time to go, I'm assuming. I mean,
well, I tell folks, and I try to explain to my friends, what I'm doing, because I'll be gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know you will.
From the time I leave till I come back, it's roughly 3 weeks, but it's the greatest 3 weeks I spend all year long, because I'm with retriever people, and all we're doing is talking about dogs. And for me, there's really nothing that I'd rather do this time of year than that. And then when duck season comes, we take those same dogs, and we go out duck hunting, and it all of the training and all the hard work that we've done throughout the year pays off during duck season when we have a finished dog in the blind with us, and so that's what we try and accomplish.
Well, we're hoping that Hershey and Goose are ready to roll, and we'll give you a good time there. Is Lynn with you? I mean,
she has not made it yet,
but she will be. It's close.
She's planning on coming up here a little bit later.
Okay,
and spend some time. We just don't know how long she'll be here this time. But she does. She enjoys doing it too. She's the one that does this catalog that you've seen.
Oh
before.
yeah, yes.
We say a catalog. It's a book.
I got my books. I'm kind of saving them in case sometime when Frank becomes real famous, and I want to have that. And but we do miss you, Frank, in studio. But we miss your introduction for this segments and your FM voice. But we ask safe travels while you're up there, and everything goes good. And I know you're with friends, and that's to me, I can tell that camaraderie is a major part of this event, not just for the dogs, but for you folks who put so much time into this. I mean,
well, for a lot of us, we only, for people that do this every year, but we're all over the country. Some of the people I haven't seen since last year.
Ah, okay.
Now I see them on Facebook, and they'll call me on different things.
Yeah.
But face to face, I don't see them. I only see them one time a year.
You get there. Yeah. And you'll see who's aged and who hasn't aged, and all those things, Frank. That.
We try not to think of too much about that part of it.
All right, Frank. Thank you, man. Safe travels up there. I don't believe in luck. Just have a great time, and look forward to talking to you after you get back. Okay, man? All right?
All right, Larry. Thanks for the call, and y'all take care.
All right.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning. You good folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM. Jackson, News Talk 101.5. And, of course, right here in Memphis on AM 790. From 9 to 10:30 here in Memphis. And we're rolling along on this week's show thanks to Shelby McCall, our show producer. Of course, you can get all their shows from previous shows and this show on LarryRay.com. And right now we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit from Frank Barton up in Paducah and Jake Hanson over in Arkansas. And, of course, our one and only Dale Sanders in the studio earlier talking about at the age of 90, he's planning to hike the Appalachian Trail. That's right, at 90. Now, that's crazy. I heard our next guest whisper that. And of course, Dale knows that, you know. I'm sure he will listen to David Best and say, who was that voice speaking like that? I don't know. That was pretty quiet, but we still picked him up. Hey, David Best.
Hey, how are y'all?
What are you going to be doing when you're 90, David? Floating a canoe?
Shoot, I don't know. I don't know about no, sure ain't gonna be hiking that place.
Yeah, it's not gonna be happening. Okay. Oh man. Okay, it's good. Always good to have David on with us from S.Y. Wilson and Primary Tackle. And you know, folks, if you're looking for a local place. In fact, I recommended you, David, to one of my friends. I wear his sunglasses, and I told him he needs to be locally where you can get his glasses. And I'm hoping that Bill Waller will contact you about his sunglasses. And they are wonderful. And you would have the only person that would have them locally. So if you get a call from Bill Waller, be nice to him, okay? I mean,
okay.
Because he does great sunglasses. But, of course, David, we reach out to David. We'll talk a little local fishing. And, of course, we talk fishing a lot on this show. But we like to get David for the local side of it with S.Y. Wilson, of course, with our good friends at Primary Tackle. And I know, David, we had, because they said Corinth had 10 inches of rain. We had 7 in Germantown, all this different kind of rain. When Francine, she was not very nice.
No.
But now we're getting a string. We were so dry, and now we're getting a string, we hope, of some dry weather. So what are you hearing locally fishing-wise?
And there's been a lot of guys catching some pretty good fish during Francine. A lot of my pond guys there around the shop, and a lot of my guys had went different places and caught a lot of really good fish. You know, just targeting where that fresh, cooler water was coming in.
Okay. To
the lakes and stuff. And I talked to a bunch of guys that caught some really good fish and showed me pictures of a lot of really good fish. So, you know, that's something that I always remember on those little low-pressure days like that. The fish are going to eat. They're going to eat good. Yeah.
They don't know it's raining. I mean,
they don't care.
No,
they're wet already.
Yeah, they're wet already. They don't have umbrellas, anything like that. But I guess you got to watch for patterns, though. I mean, because I don't know, the water temperature, you know, it got up pretty warm there for a while. I don't know what that much rain and that much cloudy and stuff like that affected the temperature. What about that?
It did. I mean, you know, a lot of the lakes were in those upper 70s, even some low 80s a little bit here and there. But most of them are down, you know, back down into those low 70s now. The fish are really beginning to target the smaller bait fish. They're going into their normal fall patterns right now.
It's September, man. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
Even though it don't always feel like it's fall yet, the fact is the days are getting shorter, and the fish know that the days are getting shorter, so they're beginning to feed up and get ready for winter.
Particularly in the early mornings because it's cool. Maybe a little fog you have to break with. I've been breaking with lately. But this is a prime time, folks. You know, I'm big on panfish, and I got to say right now, David, I got one of the new TCBs from B&M. It somehow showed up on my front porch.
Very nice.
You know, and I've got on a B&M shirt right now. I know because Jack Wills is probably listening and wants to know if I did really actually wear this. But I do. But to talk about that, the small fish, you know, we always talk about big bass. I know that's great, okay? But there's a lot of people out there that look forward to fall crappie fishing and pan fishing.
Absolutely.
And so don't forget that. And in fact, David, well, I know his company, his business is a hot spot because I see these boats lined up now, these kayaks lined up, and this has got to be prime time for that when we roll into the fall, isn't it, David?
It absolutely is. This is one of our peak seasons for selling kayaks. We've sold several this week.
Yeah.
It's getting cool again. Everybody's beginning to think about getting back on the water. Everybody's getting excited about going crappie fishing. Everybody's getting excited about going duck hunting.
Yes.
Everybody's getting excited about what's coming up over the next couple of months, and everybody's in a big hurry to kind of get their stuff ready, get out on it, figure it out, make sure they have everything tight and ready to go.
Well, talk about if you're a first-time kayak buyer. I think we talk about this a lot because I have a lot of people ask me, well, I just don't know, what to buy. Well, what do I need to start with? I mean, I know a lot of my fly fishing buddies, they start low and end up high and things along that line. So give us some tips because I know you guys deal with – how many brands of kayaks do you sell?
We sell Jackson, Hobie, and New Canoe.
Okay.
Mostly Hobie and New Canoe. That's our two big brands.
Well, talk about that for first-time buyers right now.
Yeah. So my Hobies are going to be my pedal-driven kayaks that an angler can get in and get around and pedal and keep his hands free.
Yeah.
My New Canoes, that's the one I push people to who want something that's ultra-stable, something that they can motorize, put a trolling motor on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That kind of thing, or want something that they can float. Like I sell a lot of my New Canoe Unlimiteds to my guys fishing the White River, the Little Red, something that they can float, stand on, and fly fish.
I got you. Yeah.
And be ultra comfortable. You can motorize it, put a trolling motor on it if you want to, or you can just paddle and let it float. So there's a lot of great options. I mean, I tell everybody, go to the higher end of your budget, so you're not going to just be turning around. You get a lot of people that buy some of these cheaper ones, and the year.
Yeah,
they're taking this $200 to $500 kayak that they had, and it gets passed down to a grandkid or some kid in the neighborhood because they don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
and they're going to upgrade anyway. So why not just spend the money to get the right thing to begin with?
It's the investment too. I mean, because if you really want to get into this, I'm not saying that you can't buy something cheap, but I'm saying it won't be long if you really like this that cheap thing will not be what you need.
Exactly.
And I don't know if we have trade-ins here or not, but I'm just saying, and it's not that very difference in. I mean, you could get a good kayak, can't you, David? For what? I mean, what are we talking about?
You can get into a decent kayak for that $1,000 to $1,500 range pretty easily.
Okay.
And have something that's good and stable, something that's going to last. Everything we sell is American made.
Oh,
it's going to last you 15 to 20 years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so you talk about $1,500 or $2,000 or even $5,000.
Yeah.
We'll say $5,000 over a 10-year period of time. It's costing you less than $500 a year.
That's true.
It's a lot better than buying a new one every year for $500.
Particularly if you want to get a bass boat with a $80,000 truck and get you a bass boat behind it, compare that. If you're wanting to get into small talk and big talk here. But again, we're talking our good friend David Best from S.Y. Wilson and Primary Tackle out in Arlington. And David, what about the equipment now? You could get a kayak, but what about the equipment that you need to fish out of a kayak?
There's just a few accessories that are always recommendations. Some of the anchor trolleys and some of the phone holders, some of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's Legos for adults. We can put anything in a kayak that you want. We do LED lights. We do trolling motors. We do.
Do you really?
Rod holders. We can do about anything you want.
You can spice it up then. I mean, you're just. You can so you can start out with a base price of $1,000, and you can end up spending a little bit more. I mean.
Oh yeah, easily.
If you want to, and I know that. 2-man, 1-man. What are we talking about?
So yeah, we have 1-man and 2-man. That Unlimited, that New Canoe Unlimited we talked about earlier, is a great 2-man option.
Yeah.
Especially if you motorize it. And it's that's a great ultra stable boat. It's a great option for a 2-person boat. But we have singles, we have doubles. I mean, there's so many options out there. We can customize something for anybody.
Where would you suggest that you go if you're new at this? I would not suggest that you take right off and get the Mississippi River. I'm thinking Herb Parsons, maybe Glen Springs.
Yes. Some of these smaller lakes is a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
And if another option for a lot of people, and this is not going to be a fishing type option,
mm-hmm.
but for those guys who just want to figure out, can I really get into a kayak? Is it something I want to try?
Yeah.
You can even go somewhere like Shelby Farms, or you can go up to Caney Fort.
That's true.
And there's a lot of kayak rental places where you can go jump in one time and make sure that it's good. Understand that those are not going to be the most comfortable ones in the world. A lot of the stuff that we sell is ultra comfortable.
Yeah.
I have boats that are good for 5 hours at a time, and I have boats that are good for 15 hours at a time. And that's another thing that I have to ask people.
Yeah, I don't think I want one for 5 hours. Do we have local clubs? Somebody else asked me that.
We do. So, matter of fact, our West Tennessee Bass Yackers Club just won the state championship and won the West Tennessee the paddle.
For
the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend over at
where? Think now, David. I know you're along the road now. You got 2 minutes to think on it. So
yeah, I think they were at Chick, if I remember correctly. They were over at Chickamauga.
That's where they were. Yeah, I read that now. But what was the name of that club again? The what?
It's the West Tennessee Bass Yackers.
Bass Yackers.
Yep. So, but that club's been around for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's one of the fastest growing clubs in the state of Tennessee right now. They are averaging this year around 40 boats a tournament.
Oh man! So what did we're almost gone. So how do you get information about that? What do you come by your store and find out all you can?
Come by the store and you find out all you want to find out, or you can just go on to Facebook and look up West Tennessee Bass Yackers and find that information there as well.
All right, David. So what's the store hours this Saturday? What time y'all opening out there?
We're opening at 10. We'll be here 10 to 6 today and 12 to 5 tomorrow. We're going to be announcing a big kayak sale October the 1st. There's going to be a lot of price reductions, so that's something to be looking at.
There you go.
Come see me right now because we're already extending a lot of that pricing as we speak.
All right, David Best. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you next month probably. Okay, man?
All right.
Thanks, David. Have a great one. All right.
You too.
All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and let's wrap this baby up with one of the world's all-time greatest female archers on Outdoors with Larry.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out another what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming as we head for our 25th year on the air. And what better show is to start with a man who turns 90 next year and will be hiking the Appalachian Trail, and finish today's show with a young lady that I know for many years and recognize her talents and her passion. In fact, before I introduce her, anybody that says passing on the passion, who would you think that would be? It'd be Joella Bates. And we got Joella on the line right now. Good morning, Joella.
Good morning, Larry.
I need a little.
It's a fine morning.
I need a little Joella lifting up here right now because this cough drops.
All right, I can do that, Larry.
You can
promise you I can do that.
You can do that. Of course, you folks know Joella's been on the show many times, and I'm always amazed at what she plans next. And you know, first of all, Joella, I want to pass along our condolence for your loss recently. I know that was tough for you to have to deal with, and just want you to know that prayers go out to you and your family, okay?
Well, thank you so much, Larry. Mama was one of God's angels, and now she is one of God's angels.
She is there,
so
and I know
I am
how close you were to her, and anytime we lose our mom, but at the same time, let's talk to the this lady who is 13 times a world champion, which blows my mind right there, has won all these different awards. She's, of course, a member of the Legends of the Outdoor Hall of Fame back in 2015. She's won
2011.
2011. I'm looking at it wrong. 2011.
2011.
You were just a pup. Okay. I mean, I
was a puppy.
I just barely made it in, so like that. But has represented the USA in so many competitions in France and Italy and Canada, and of course is a member of the USA team, and she's got big plans coming up for her. So let's first of all talk to you, Joella, about this next what would we call this? The next agenda for Joella Bates is heading east again.
I am packing up, already getting stuff ready to leave. I'll leave home on Thursday afternoon, go spend the night with my son, and catch a plane headed for Slovenia. Actually, my plane's going to fly into Croatia.
Okay.
But I'll be leaving Nashville at 6 a.m.
Okay.
On next Friday.
Next Friday, and heading for Slovenia and Croatia and all these other places that you have been. And here's the thing, folks. Joella represents the United States, but she represents a lot more for those of us that are fans. And this is something that she does, and she does it on their own. She has to raise money. She has to do all sorts of things. And this lady is also a great seamstress. I saw her work at the Legends of the Outdoors. Glenn Wheeler looked great with that quilt over him, Joella.
Oh, didn't he look gorgeous?
He looked gorgeous with that quilt. But that's part of what you have to do. This is no easy effort, not just the competition-wise, but just to get there. So tell our listeners on us a little about how do you get to Slovenia?
Well, before I knew that I would be one of the team members to go to Slovenia, I had spent months shooting and practicing and training and coaching, teaching others archery to hone my skills.
Yes.
So I was at the top of my game.
Yeah.
And boy, was I! I made I made a trip to Texas just days before the team trials.
Yeah.
And filmed a TV show with my buddy Jimmy Sykes.
Yes.
And I practiced while I was in Texas, and then I drove all the way back, got in right before dark, and stayed up and practiced till dark. Got up the next morning, headed out to practice a little bit, and then finished the first day over 60 points in the lead.
Oh, my goodness.
And I finished the second day 88 points.
Amazing.
Above the nearest competitor.
Amazing.
So I was on my game, and I have not slowed down since, Larry.
No.
I have just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I have made 5 quilts.
And
I'm working on another one.
Okay. All right. And you're
this
selling.
This will be the last one that I do and fundraise with. I'm gonna put up a deck of cards.
Okay.
On this last quilt.
Okay.
And I've actually been selling cards for a few days now.
Okay.
I will leave the house on Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
And I plan to have this quilt done before the weekend's over and have it
ready to go by Monday. You think it'll be ready
to go
by Monday?
I think it'll be ready to go by Monday. But I'll go ahead and I'm selling chances on it.
Okay.
It's another beautiful patriotic quilt.
Okay.
And you saw the one I made.
Oh, yes.
That we auctioned off at Legends.
Yes.
This will be quite similar to that.
So how do people, and we're going to run a photograph on my Facebook page and on my website of what this quilt looks like, and information, Joella, we're going to have to get that for people to do it and to bid on this thing, because, folks, I saw it, and you'll see it when I run it on my Facebook page or my website or wherever it might be. This remarkable quilt. Not only does this lady know how to shoot a bow and arrow, she knows how to teach kids how to do it. She's a teacher by heart. She's a Kentucky colonel. She's a rifle team from the UT Martin Hall of Fame. She's done so much to promote the sport itself, but she needs some help right here. So tell our listeners how they get a chance. Where do they go to get a chance for this quilt?
They can, if they're on Facebook, they'll be able to see it on Facebook.
Okay.
By Saturday noon for certain.
Okay.
They'll today by
today
noon
at noon
for certain.
Today
They'll be able
to
go see it.
All right.
And I've already posted it, so they can go before then. But,
all right.
But I'll make sure that it's at the top of my Facebook page, and I'll make sure you have the information too, Larry, so
that's great.
You can share it with the listeners. It's $20 for a chance.
Wow. This is
54 cards.
54 cards. This is Joella, Joella Bates, and she's a Tennessee girl. Come on now. So we want to help her out. And what the amazing thing has been, she's going to Slovenia, okay? I mean, she's going.
I'm going.
But she needs a little bit of help on this thing, and tell our listeners, not only are you going and you've been to Italy and you've been to France and Canada, tell them what kind of bow do you shoot? What is because it's different, right? And your arrows are even different.
This is different.
Yeah.
This is different. I'm shooting a longbow.
A longbow, folks.
I'm shooting off of a little tiny piece of leather that's glued onto the wood.
Yes, yeah.
I don't have a fancy arrow rest. I'm shooting off the shelf with wood arrows, with feather fletchings, and it's unknown distance.
Unknown distance.
So I have to judge the distance to the target, and then we shoot 2 arrows at each target.
Amazing.
And after 96 arrows, 96 arrows, we'll shoot 48 2 days in a row, and we're shooting 24 targets, 2 arrows per target, 2 days in a row. There's like 80 different targets that could show up on the range, but I'm one of only like 3 or 4 people that have even seen these targets in person, and I haven't seen all of them.
No, and you've never been. You hadn't been to Slovenia before, have you? I mean,
no.
Right.
When we went to Italy 2 years ago, they were supposed to be all Reinhardt targets, but they pulled in some of these targets.
Oh.
This is an Italian target maker.
Yeah.
They pulled in some of these targets unbeknownst to us.
Oh, man.
So the ones of us that shot in Italy have seen a few of these targets. We haven't seen them all, but we've gone to the website and downloaded their catalog, and I have studied those targets, and I'm shooting my bow almost every day. If I'm not shooting, I'm teaching.
Well.
Or I'm traveling between teaching locations, but I have just worked myself to the kind of worked myself ragged.
Well, I think
running the roads and teaching and shooting, but boy, am I happy.
Well, we're running out of time. I wanted to close with Joella Bates on this. Folks, let's help out Joella. I'll have all this posted on LarryRay.com. We're going to help you all we can, Joella, and pull for you. Of course, representing the USA. You see that, when you see this quilt, you'll say, this lady is not just a great outdoors person, but she's got talent, I'm telling you, because I've touched it. I've touched it.
It is so pretty.
Well, all right, we got to go, but all right, one more time.
Oh, man.
Go to Joella Bates' Facebook page. That's Joella, Joella Bates. Google Joella Bates. See where this gal's done in her career and how she's represented not only Tennessee, but the USA, and we're going to help her all we can. Joella, we love you, girl.
Larry,
okay?
thank you so much. I love you guys.
All right. We'll talk to you, Joella. Be safe, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Joella Bates. All right. We've got to get out of here. Next week we'll have, Ron Wong will be in next week, and we're going to talk about coffee. That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about Wired to Fish coffee on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And Ron Wong, hope Bill Cooks will be in. Thank you, Shelby. My voice is about gone. Cough drop number 2. We'll be back, Lord willing, next week. And before we go, don't forget it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.